No woman can control me. Not my late mother. Not you. Not anyone. You are all the same. I saw what women can do. Was there when my father died from too much pain. My mother, she killed him slowly with her mouth. I saw it all. They say a man becomes what he sees as a child. But what happened when all he ever saw was pain? This is the story of Nathan. The rain was falling hard. Thunder roared in the sky. Little Nathan hid under the wooden table in the small living room. His tiny hands covered his ears, but he could still hear his mother shouting, "Useless man. You can't even buy food for your family." Her voice boomed. His father, quiet as always, sat with his head down.
Please, Zara, let's not fight tonight. Nathan is watching.
But that only made her angry. "Oh, now you care. You are weak. A real man would have built a mansion by now." Nathan peeked out. He saw his father's face, sad, tired and wet with tears. That night, something broke inside Nathan. He cried, not because of the thunder, but because of the war in his home. And from that day on, the cry never really stopped, only got quieter. Nathan was only 5 when the worst happened. His father didn't wake up one morning. They said it was his heart. Too much pain, too much shouting, too much silence. Nathan sat near the window as people came to cry and talk. He didn't understand much, but he knew one thing. His hero was gone. His mother didn't cry much. In fact, after just a few weeks, she started dressing up, laughing on the phone with strange men, and smiling again. Nathan waited for her to sit him down and say, "It will be okay," but she never did. One day, she called him.
"Nathan, pack your things. We are going to live with my sister Nasa in Africa." "Why, Mama?"
He asked, afraid.
"You ask too much questions. Do as I say."
And that was it. No hug, no goodbye. Just one way ticket to another hard life. Nathan's first day at Auntie Nasa's house was nothing to write home about. The house was quiet, cold, not because of the weather, but because there was no warmth inside. No one smiled, no one hugged. Auntie Nasa stood by the door with her arms folded across her chest, her face tight like a knot.
"So you are the boy,"
she said.
"I don't like children, but since your mother sent you here, you will work for your stay. I don't like laziness."
Nathan stood up, holding his small bag. His eyes were wide. He missed his father. He wanted to ask for food, but he was too scared. A tall man came out from the room behind her. He looked gentle, but nervous. "Nasa, let him sit down. He just arrived."
"Shut up. You always want to act like you have sense. He won't eat until he cleans the kitchen."
The man said nothing more. He looked down and walked away. That was the day Nathan learned something new. Not all men are strong, and not all women are kind. The next morning, Auntie Nasa woke him up before the sun.
"Get up. Take this tray and go to the market. Sell this plantain. If you lose any, you won't eat."
Nathan looked at the tray. It was too heavy. He was only 5.
"But I've never sold in the market before,"
he whispered. She grabbed his ear and twisted it.
"Then today is your first time. Move."
Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. Nathan became the market boy with bare feet and sunburned skin. He ran through traffic with his tray, shouting,
"Sweet plantain, sweet plantain."
Some people felt sorry and gave him extra money. Others yelled at him to get out of the way. When he got home late, Auntie Nasa beat him up. When he got home early, she gave him more to sell. And through it all, her husband, Uncle Dan, never said a word. At night, Nathan would lie on the time mat, staring at the ceiling. The house was quiet, but inside him, a storm was growing. He missed school. He missed toys. He missed his father's laughter. But most of all, he missed love. One afternoon, while sailing under the hot sun, Nathan dropped to his knees. The tray rolled away. His lips were dry. His legs were weak. He looked up at the sky and shouted, "I hate women. I will never let any woman control me. Never. Some market women watched him shocked, but he didn't care. His vow was made, a promise sealed by pain. That day, Nathan changed. He no longer smiled, he no longer played. And deep inside his heart, a wall began to rise, tall and strong, built to keep love out. Years passed. Nathan grew tall, strong and quiet. He no longer lived with Auntie Nasa. When he turned 16, he ran away. He found work in a mechanic shop in a new town. The boss gave him food, a place to sleep, and taught him how to fix cars. Nathan worked hard. He saved money. He didn't go to school, but he read old books at night. He told himself, I will never suffer like my father. I will never be weak. He made a new life. No women, no love, no pain. That was how he liked it. But life had its own plan. One rainy day, as he walked home from the shop, he saw a young woman struggling to start her car. She was soaked, shivering and scared.
Please,
She called out.
can you help me?
Nathan wanted to walk away, but something made him stop. Maybe it was her soft voice, or maybe the way she looked so helpless. He fixed her car in 10 minutes. She smiled.
Thank you so much. My name is Bisola.
He didn't smile back.
Nathan,
Can I at least buy you a drink to say thank you?
She asked.
no need.
He said and walked away. But Bisola was not like other women. She was kind, patient, gentle, and she didn't give up. She came back to the mechanic shop a few times, sometimes with car problems, sometimes with snacks. The other workers joked.
Nathan, she like you.
He always replied.
I don't like women.
Still, Bisola came. She never pushed. She just talked to him like he mattered. She listened when he spoke. She laughed at his dry jokes. And slowly, Nathan's world began to crack. After a year, he asked her out just once, just to sleep. And something strange happened. He felt peace. She didn't shout. She didn't judge. She didn't try to control him. They got married 2 years later. Bisola was a sweet wife. She made her small house a home. She gave him 2 boys. Nathan loved those boys with all his heart. He gave them everything he never had, good education. But Bisola, she got his cold side. He called her names when hungry. He insulted her in front of the kids. She would cry at night asking,
Why do you treat me like this, Nathan? I love you.
but he would only say,
Don't talk to me like I'm your toy. I'm not your puppet.
deep inside, Nathan still carried the pain from his past. He didn't know how to love a woman. He only knew how to protect himself. Bisola sat quietly by the window, her eyes following the children as they play in the compound. Their laughter filled the air, but her heart felt heavy. Her husband, Nathan, sat in the living room, eyes fixed on the TV, hands crossed like always. He hadn't said a kind word to her in weeks. Everything she did annoyed him. If she laughed too loudly, he said she was silly. If she dressed up, he called her proud. If she asked him a question, he said she talked too much. But Bisola loved him. She didn't understand what she did wrong. One night, after she served him dinner, Nathan looked at the plate and frowned.
Why do you always make this soup? Do you want to poison me like my mother did to my father?
The words hit her like a slap. She dropped the spoon she was holding and stared at him.
What did you say?
She asked, tears already forming. Nathan stood up and pointed at her. I said no woman can control me. Not my late mother. Not you. Not anyone. The children came running into the room scared.
Daddy, stop shouting.
The older one whispered. Nathan turned to his son.
Women are heartless and mean. Do not give them any little chance. They are all the same. Don't let them control you because if they do, you are gone.
Bisola rushed to the boys and held them close. She looked at Nathan with tired eyes.
Why are you like this? I'm not your enemy. I'm your wife.
He pointed at her again, chest rising and falling.
You are all the same. I saw what women can do. I was there when my father died from too much pain. My mother, she killed him slowly with her mouth. I saw it all.
His voice cracked. He didn't mean to say all of that, but the fire inside him had broken through. Bisola was shocked. She finally understood. He wasn't just angry, he was hot, deeply hot. That night, she sat beside him after the kids had gone to bed. Nathan, she said softly.
You need help. You need therapy.
He looked away.
I'm not mad.
I didn't say you are mad.
She replied.
I said you are in pain. And you are using that pain to hurt me and yourself.
Nathan stood up and walked out of the house. He didn't want to hear it, but her words followed him like a shadow. That night, as he sat outside under the moonlight, he remembered his father's tears, his small self hiding under the table, his mother's sharp voice. He placed his head in his hands and whispered,
I'm becoming what I hated.
but he didn't know how to stop. He didn't know how to break free. Nathan stopped talking to Bisola for days after she mentioned therapy. He believed therapy was for broken people, and he didn't see himself as broken, but he was. Inside him was still that little boy, hiding under the table, watching his father take insults in silence and die slowly. Every day, Nathan wore a mask, strong, bold, untouchable, but behind that mask was pain, fear and confusion. Bisola, on the other hand, was hurting too. She had dreams when they got married, of a happy home, laughter, warmth. She thought love would be enough to fix Nathan, but now she knew love alone wasn't enough. One morning, she served him breakfast. He pushed the plate aside.
Do you want to poison me again?
He said, smirking. Bisola didn't respond. She went to the bedroom, locked the door and cried. Her voice knocked.
Mommy, are you okay?
She wiped her tears and smiled at them. Yes, my darlings. Go eat your food. Later that evening, Bisola called a family meeting. Just the four of them. Her, Nathan and the boys.
I want us to talk.
She began gently. Nathan scoffed.
Talk about what? How I am a bad father. Go ahead.
Bisola looked at the boys.
Put your room, please.
No,
Nathan said.
let them hear. Let them know who I am.
She faced him calmly.
Nathan, I know your past was hard. I know your mother hurt your father. And your auntie didn't treat you well. But I'm not there. I'm not your mother. I'm not Auntie Nasa. I love you, but I'm dying in this marriage. You treat me like a stranger, like an enemy. And the boys, they are watching. Do you want them to grow up thinking this is how a man treats a woman? Do you want them to fear you the way you feared your own mother?
Nathan stood up.
Enough. I don't need any therapy. I don't need your advice.
Then you will lose us.
She said. That line hit him hard. The boys peeked from the hallway, confused and scared. Nathan looked at them. He remembered being their age, scared and helpless. Was he becoming the monster that haunted him? He walked out again, but this time he didn't go far. He sat by the gate, breathing heavily.
Why do I hurt the only person who truly loves me?
He asked himself. He didn't have the answer, but he felt the weight of the truth. The boy inside him never healed. And now, the man he became was breaking everything around him. Nathan didn't sleep that night. He sat by the window, staring at the stars. The house was silent, but his mind was noisy, filled with voices from the past and present.
You will lose us.
Bisola's words echoed in his head. The next morning, Bisola didn't say a word. She dressed the boys for school, packed their bags, and walked past him like he wasn't there. Nathan felt invincible. The house used to feel alive with her laughter and songs. Now it felt like a grave. He picked up his phone, stared at it, and finally dialed a number he found online the night before, a therapist. It rang. His hand trembled. He caught the call. He couldn't do it.
I'm not weak. Men don't cry. Men face things.
But nothing was fixed. Everything was falling apart. That afternoon, after work, he stopped by the school to pick the boys, something he never did. Your wife had already come to pick them, the teacher said. Nathan didn't argue. He just nodded and walked back to his car. On his way home, he bought a box of chocolates, flowers, and a toy robot for the kids. He thought maybe, just maybe it could fix things. When he got home, Bisola was in the kitchen. He dropped the items on the table.
I bought something.
He said. She looked at him, then at the gift.
Nathan, these things are nice, but they don't fix pain. You can't cover wounds with chocolate. You can't erase years of insult with toys. We need help.
Nathan's eyes welled up, but he quickly turned away.
I'm fine.
He whispered. Bisola softened.
Then please, let someone help you. Let someone help us.
Nathan nodded, not because he fully agreed, but because he was tired of losing. The next morning, he went to therapy. He didn't talk much at first. He mostly stared at the floor, but with time, he began to speak. He spoke about his father's silence, his mother's anger, Aunt Nasa's wickedness, the hunger, the beatings, the vow he made under the sun. The therapist listened, no judgment, no pressure, just space to breathe. For the first time in his life, Nathan cried, not as a man, but as a little boy who had never been allowed to cry. Nathan started attending therapy every week. He didn't tell anyone at first, not Bisola, not even the boys. He wasn't ready for questions. He was still afraid of looking weak, but slowly he began to feel something he hadn't felt in years, lightness. In the therapy room, he was not a husband, not a father, not a man trying to be strong. He was just Nathan, a boy who had been hurt and never healed. Each session felt like peeling a wound open, painful, messy, but necessary. He started to talk more. He talked about the time his mother slapped his father in front of the guests, the time she poured food on the floor because it was too salty, the night his father died and she didn't shed a single tear.
I promised myself I would never be like my father.
Nathan said in one session.
And now, I think I became my mother.
The therapist nodded.
Sometimes we run from pain so fast we run straight into it.
Nathan was quiet. That line stayed with him. Back home, things began to shift. One evening, Bisola made dinner as usual. Instead of picking faults, Nathan said,
Thank you.
Bisola froze. She stared at him like he had grown too old.
He said, thank you.
He looked down embarrassed.
Yes, I'm trying.
She smiled, tears forming.
I see it. Nathan, I see the effort. Thank you for trying.
That night, they ate together in peace. For the first time in years, their boys laughed freely during dinner. No tension, no shouting, just laughter. Nathan started talking more to Bisola. He told her about the pain, the shame, the fear. She listened. She cried too. They were finally beginning to understand each other, not as husband and wife, but as human, both carrying scars. One day, the therapist invited Bisola to a therapy session with her husband, Nathan.
Bisola,
The therapist said gently.
can you share how you feel?
Bisola nodded slowly. Her voice was small but heavy.
I feel broken. Each day I try to love Nathan. I cook, I clean, I smile, but he insults me. He calls me names. Sometimes he acts like I don't exist. I cry almost every night, and he doesn't even ask why.
Nathan didn't speak. He felt something burn in his chest, but he didn't know what to say. He wasn't used to hearing Bisola talk like that. The therapist looked at him.
Nathan, your past is painful, but you can't carry that pain into your present. You love your wife, but your actions are hurting her. Healing is not a straight road. It takes time, and it takes effort from both of you.
Nathan nodded slowly. He felt a lump in his throat. That night, when they got home, things were quiet. After dinner, Bisola tried to lighten the mood. She looked at Nathan and joked.
You are finally learning how to smile. Shall I call the newspapers?
She laughed. It was meant to be funny, but Nathan didn't laugh. Instead, he froze. That joke, so simple, felt like a knife. It took him back to when his mother used to laugh at his father, mock him, tear him down with words. Nathan's face turned cold. In a flash of anger, he stood up. His eyes were wide.
Do I look like a joke to you?
He shouted. The pain in his chest had turned into rage. Before he could stop himself, he raised his hand and hit her. The sound of the slap was loud. Bisola stumbled back. Her face burned, her heart broke, and her eyes filled with tears, not just from the pain, but from the shock. Nathan didn't say sorry. He didn't reach out to help her. He just stood there breathing heavily.
I'm not weak. I'm not like my father.
Bisola looked at him, her voice shaking.
You think you are strong? Strong men don't hurt the people who love them.
She walked away, holding her face. Her heart was heavy. That night, Nathan sat alone in the living room. He still didn't apologize. In his mind, he was still right, still perfect, still in control. But inside his heart, something was cracking. Bisola stayed in the boys' room that night. She couldn't sleep. Her face hurt, but her heart hurt even more. She whispered to herself,
No one can change Nathan unless he wants to change himself. Real change must come from deep inside.
She stared at the ceiling, holding her son's clothes, and for the first time since she married Nathan, she started to think about something scary. Leaving. Morning came slowly. The sun peeked through the curtain, lighting up the living room where Nathan had fallen asleep on the couch. His neck hurt, his back ached, but his heart felt heavier than anything else. He looked around the quiet room. It still looked like home, but it didn't feel like one anymore. He reached for his phone. No messages, no missed calls. Nothing from Bisola. He stood up, walked to the boys' room and stood by the door. He saw them sleeping peacefully, curled up beside Bisola. She looked tired. Her eyes were slightly open, staring at the ceiling. She wasn't asleep, just lost in thought. Nathan wanted to say something, but no words came out. He turned and walked away. The day went by in silence. No smiles, no laughter, no warm hugs, just quietness that hurt more than shouting. Bisola cooked breakfast. She served the boys and helped them dress for school. Nathan tried to help, but she didn't speak to him. She didn't shout or cry. She just moved around like it wasn't there. After dropping the boys at school, Bisola sat alone on the bed. Her cheeks still ached, not from the slap, but from the weight of staying. She looked at herself, reflecting in the mirror. Her eyes were puffy. Her heart was tired. Later that day, Nathan returned from work early. He found Bisola sitting in the living room, holding a small box.
What is that?
He asked. She looked at him, tears welling in her eyes. Memories, she said softly. Inside the box were little things, photos of their wedding day, a card he once gave her, their first baby socks, a small rock they picked on their first picnic, all the pieces of a love that was slowly breaking. I didn't marry you to become your punching bag. I wanted a partner, a friend, a safe place. But now, I'm afraid of you. And I don't want our children growing up thinking this is love. Nathan's eyes filled with tears, but he didn't cry.
I'm broken, Bisola. I didn't mean to hurt you.
I know love is not about meaning well. It's about doing well. I need time, space to breathe, To heal. Nathan looked up.
Are you leaving me?
She paused. No, I'm leaving the pain. She walked to the boy's room and packed a small bag. Nathan didn't try to stop her, not because he didn't want to, but because deep down, he knew she deserved to be whole again. He walked back into the living room and sat on the couch, the same couch he had yelled from, the same couch where Bisola once laid her head in his lap, telling him about her dreams. Now it was just him and silence. Days passed. He went to work, came back, ate alone, slept alone, woke up to no giggle, no spilled cereal, no Bisola humming in the kitchen, just the ceiling fan spinning above his head like a clock ticking too loud. He tried calling her. The phone rang, but she didn't pick. He sent messages, simple ones.
I miss you. How are the boys? I'm sorry.
No reply. The house began to rot in its loneliness. Dishes piled up, clothes stayed unwashed. The bed remained untouched. Nathan stared at their wedding photo one night until his eyes brilled. He finally let the tears down. He wasn't strong anymore. He wasn't in control. He was alone with his thoughts, and for the first time in years, he didn't blame his mother. He didn't blame its past, he blamed himself. One Sunday, Nathan went to church. He sat at the back, hiding from familiar faces. The sermon was about forgiveness, but not the kind others give you. Sometimes, the pastor said, you carry wounds that turned you into weapon, but hurting people doesn't heal you. It only spread the pain. Nathan lowered his head and cried. He remembered his father, the silence, the beatings, the cold dinings, the dark nights. He was becoming the man he swore he would never be. That night, he wrote a letter.
Dear Bisola, I don't deserve your kindness, your love, or the years you gave me. I broke your heart when all you ever did was try to fix me. I have no excuse, I just have truth. The truth is, I was afraid, afraid of love, afraid of being seen, afraid of becoming my father. But in trying not to become him, I became worse because I knew better. You deserved gentleness, laughter, peace. Instead, I gave you pain. I'm sorry, not just for the slap, but for every time I made you feel unseen, unloved, and unsafe. I will not come looking for you, but I will wait, not for you to return, but for the man I am supposed to be, to rise from the man I let myself become. Love always, Nathan.
It has been 3 months. He hadn't seen Bisola or the boys since the day they left. He prayed for them every night, whispering their names into the silence. He went to therapy every week, no longer waiting for a breakthrough, just showing up with his broken pieces. Some days, the weight of guilt pressed down on him. One evening, he received a message. It was from Bisola. Thank you for the letter. I read it more than once. That was all the message said. But to Nathan, it was enough. She had read the letter. She held him. Maybe she believed him. Weeks later, another message came. The boys asked about you. They miss you. This time, Nathan replied, I miss them too. Please tell them daddy is getting better. I will, she replied. Maybe someday, she added. You can tell them yourself. Nathan smiled, not a hopeful smile, not a desperate one, just a real honest smile. He still didn't know what the future held, whether Bisola would ever come back, whether the boys would forgive him, whether he could rebuild what he had broken. But he had finally forgiven himself. He had faced his pain, looked it in the eyes and decided to do better. And sometimes, doing better doesn't start with a miracle. It starts with a decision to break the circle, a decision to become the kind of father he never had, a decision to be the kind of man he should have been all along. Lessons from the story. This story teaches us that a broken childhood can raise a broken man. Nathan watched his mother abuse his father, and instead of healing, he carried that silent pain into adulthood. He became a man who feared weakness so much. He confused love with control. His trauma became a shadow in his marriage, haunting the very person who tried to love him the most. Unhealed trauma is not just a personal burden, it becomes a generational curse if not dealt with. Nathan never dealt with his pain, and because of that, he became what he hated. It reminds us that marriage doesn't cure childhood wounds. A partner cannot face what you refuse to face. Bisola gave her heart, her patience, her love, but it wasn't enough to change a man who wouldn't change himself. It speaks to every home silently bleeding behind closed doors, to every woman trying to hold up a collapsing marriage, to every man fighting demons no one can see. Healing is possible, but it begins with truth. Truth about your past, truth about your pain, and the courage to say, I need help before I hurt someone else. Because if you don't heal what hurts you, you will bleed on those who didn't cut you. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying this story, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And also click the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep enjoying great stories from me to you. I love you all. God bless you.